Can you? Will you? Should you? Face the case. Darren Casey, that is.
Thanks, Tony. What? Do that voice a bit more. It's interesting.
Yes, can you face him?
Ooh, kind of voice.
We got him early.
It's a mixture of. It's kind of like Rocky blending with kind of sumo wrestler.
Oh, yeah, it's all in there.
Spider Rico, great sumo wrestler. Take him, southpaw.
Right.
Oh, shut up, you idiot.
Oh, be
Grow
quiet.
up.
Stop
You're
it.
so stupid.
Oh, I hate it all.
What have you... What's making you sad, Tony?
Nothing.
What do you hate? Have you got all the problems of the world? You're the overnight guy. You're the voice that never sleeps.
Yeah, that's
Talking
true.
to Melbourne and getting people through the night with your smooth tones and your outrageous dreams.
Yeah,
How's it all going?
It's all going very well. We not complain.
All right. What? All right. I guess I better get on with it then.
Get on with
Thanks
it.
for that. That was like pulling teeth. Yeah, really. Yep.
Yeah.
I just held out a basket there.
Yeah,
and
didn't you? And I just smacked it out of your
anything in it.
hands.
You've put 5 cents in it.
Yeah.
Sent me on my way. All right. So, what do you make of the Paralympics, the cheating?
Oh, is it?
Going on? Do you know anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Well, it turns out that maybe some people aren't as disabled as they're saying they are.
There was...
People are getting the category. There's a whole thing. It's a bit of a scandal that's threatening to affect the integrity of the whole caper. People, when you obviously you've got to be classified, and it's awkward to classify people because you're competing, and there's all kinds of different disabilities and levels of disability, and it seems it's easy to just fudge it a bit, and somebody was limping around when they didn't really have a limp. And, it's quite rampant, and people are sort of exaggerating maybe their situation so that they get to compete, at an easier level, if that makes sense.
So isn't there a world body or a governing body that's holding a very important meeting where people are speaking a bit like I spoke in the intro? This is very, very serious.
Yeah, well, it's, I guess they're speaking to journos and making all these statements about how hard it is to police it. They seem to be coming clean and saying that we're helpless and there's nothing we can do about it.
What?
Well, I remembered years ago, maybe in the 80s, a basketball, a Spanish basketball team were cancelled out.
True.
What's the word? The word's not cancelled.
Oh, they were...
That's a modern word. Like they were booted out.
Yeah.
They were meant to be intellectually disabled.
Right.
And it seems they weren't.
No.
And then they started the game, and they dunked a few, and they said, well, hang on, something's wrong here. These guys know what the rings are for, and you're out.
Right.
Kick them out.
Okay. So,
sorry, you're not...
What, they suddenly found another chromosome? Or they...
Yeah.
Like they crossed the white line and suddenly gained 90 points in IQ? Or something
happened, and they were not... they weren't disabled enough intellectually, and they were disqualified was the word I wanted, not cancelled. Anyway, you don't know anything about it, so you can't add anything.
No, well, I guess in a team like that, you've got to be I don't know, what, the Vincibles? You've got to have something wrong with you. Like imagine a disabled Don Bradman.
Yeah. The Vincibles.
Yeah, they were one of the great disabled teams of all time. They never won, and that's why they were great.
That 100% record, the Vincibles.
The Vincibles, because...
That's very good, what you're doing. It's good stuff. Right. Never winning.
Yeah.
The Vincibles.
Because they couldn't, because they were, either physically or mentally incapacitated.
Fair enough then. All right, speaking of invincibility, we talked about capes last week, and you could buy your own cape from the catalogue.
Yeah.
And if you went to the barbers, would you take your own catalogue? Your own catalogue.
Your own cape, yeah.
And you say to the guy, why don't you buy this? You take the catalogue, and why don't you buy this cape? Well, what if you were a barber and Superman came in?
Yeah.
Would you put a cape on him?
Oh, well, he's already got one, so he'd be overcaped.
That's what I reckon.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? What's the etiquette? Do you put a cape over a guy who's already got a cape?
You can't overcape. The cape he's got has flying properties, as we know. Geez,
you're really working hard. I love it. So I put this stuff to you. What if he goes to put the cape on him and Superman's just a little bit... Maybe he's just had a big night. He's a little grumpy.
Yeah.
He goes, what are you doing? The guy goes, well, I'm sorry, Superman. I was just putting the cape on. He goes, I've already got a cape. I didn't want any trouble. Okay. And then it's not enough for Superman because he's liverish. So he says, what if I just crush your head to powder?
Which you could do.
With my strong steel hands.
Yeah.
And the guy's being humiliated in front of other customers.
Yeah.
So he pulls out a little bit of kryptonite that he's got stashed in a drawer, and he goes, well, what if I ram this in your eye socket? Hey? Who's really strong now, eh? Grinding the kryptonite into his eyeball, weakening him.
Right.
Hey, what do you think of those apples, soup baby? Working it in. Getting weaker. Lights growing dim. And that's how it goes. And then he goes, get out of here, you bum.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And Superman flies out the door and sort of lands in a heap.
Well, I can imagine a business consultant. Let's say that barber falls on hard times and he thinks, how am I going to turn it around? And he gets a business consultant in and he tells him that story. I mean, that's just going to be a classic tale of how not to treat a customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rule number one is...
People will say that I didn't like the way he handled Superman.
Yeah.
But Superman was looking for it.
Well, he was. Okay, fine, but the customer's always right, and he'd had a big night, and,
Yep. No, I'll pay what you say.
The thing about his cape, though, would be if you were his wife, you'd go, I just don't know how to get the Brill cream stains out.
Yep.
She'd be at him about that. She'd be speaking to other superheroes' wives and saying, how do you get odd stains out?
Yeah, or a guy from the company would come around.
The Cape Company.
That guy from Dynamo would go, this is how you get this stain out.
Yep.
Of, part of some brain matter or whatever it is Superman did that week.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing there. There's a whole, shank of humour that could be explored.
Yeah, really.
All right, what about when people talk about someone and they describe them as openly gay?
Okay, yep.
What's that for? Why don't they just say, segment guy Darren Casey, let's say it was me, who is openly gay?
Right.
Why don't they just say Darren Casey, radio segment guy Darren Casey, who is gay?
Yeah.
What's this openly gay thing? That's like the old days of fully blown.
Yeah.
Or this word that sort of everyone starts using. Darren Casey, who is sneakily gay,
Right. Okay.
who wears dark glasses and
Yeah.
no one really knows.
Right. And there's only gay in the shadows.
Yes.
Right.
So you force them to make a retraction or something. I'm not openly gay. No one knows.
Right.
Or something. I don't know. I keep hearing it.
Or out and
reading
proud,
it.
isn't it the other one?
What's that? Oh,
Out
yeah,
and
but it's
proud.
all the same. Yeah, that's a bit more of a statement. But
Yeah.
you sort of hear this Moclair, who is openly gay,
Yeah.
and I just don't know why they need the word openly.
Yeah, it kind of, to me, suggests that he's going to be gay in any given circumstance.
That's a fair point.
Ordering
Yeah.
coffee, he's going to be gay.
Yep,
He's going to go about ordering the coffee in a completely gay way.
yep.
Driving home, he's going to be doing that.
Going to be gay.
Yep.
Right.
Like
He's
he's
open
always
about
on.
it.
He's always
Yeah,
on.
but-
He's
Yep. He's always on.
yep.
All right, well, thanks for explaining that to me. Did you see the school teacher who was punching the students?
Yes, I did see that. Yes.
Yeah,
And
the silver hair and the ponytail, and
Yeah.
it started out, they were throwing screwed up paper balls at each other, and then it escalated, and then he was haymakers and jabs. Did you know he was a music teacher?
Did not know that.
Yeah, and that day's class was chin music. We're going to do Mozart's. We're going to do Mozart's headbutt for violin and piano, and Beethoven's knuckle sandwich in A flat.
Okay.
I knew you'd like that.
I did like
Chin
that.
music.
Chin music. I love it.
Okay, listen up, class.
Yeah.
It goes like this,
Yeah.
and then you've got a bit of pummeling going on.
Great.
Mm.
And the parents backed the teacher, which I thought was great.
That's interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, they did.
Right, because he was charged with assault. He was taken down to the police. I think, I don't know many people who are teaching now. I've known teachers. Most of the people I knew who were teachers have all been put in asylums and stuff. But, it must be hard because you cannot discipline anybody, can you? You simply cannot do anything.
Oh, I think you can threaten. I think you can threaten to discipline, and that's about as far as it goes.
But you can't dance a little bit and sort of come in with some combos.
No.
You can't go the kidney. There's no headlocks.
No. There's no, you know, the great thing about those old desks where you could lift up and you kept all your books underneath the piece of wood on a hinge. You can't put a student's head in there and then repeatedly slam the top of their head with the desktop.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like maybe one with each syllable.
Yeah.
You need to work a bit harder. Basically, with each syllable.
Yeah.
That's the way. Yeah, well, you're not allowed to do anything. So it must be because, we're all smart asses at that age.
Yeah.
So that would be weird. Whose side would you be on?
I think that it's very telling that the parents supported him, and there is an automatic assumption that the child is a saint and has done nothing to provoke the teacher. So apparently, from what I read, the kids were getting physical first. Now, in that sort of situation, I know you're supposed to take the high road and be very high-minded about it, but that's well and good if you're not in that situation. And we know, having gone to a boys' school, Darren, and I know kids at that age.
Boys' school.
Oh, would you? Okay,
you're the one that's openly gay. Not
I
me.
was going to say you went to an openly gay school.
No, I went to school with boys and girls.
Well, boys at a
We
particular.
were openly heterosexual.
Okay, at a particular age, some boys, I don't know. Can I tell you, the best thing they'll ever get is some chin music from a teacher.
Yeah. I don't see that a teacher's just going to come in and start swinging.
No, exactly.
I'm sure they're provoked by a kid. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Although I did mouth off to a teacher when I was about 14, and it seemed to have gone okay, and he wheeled around, and the next minute he had me in a double-handed grip around the throat.
Wow. Okay. Well, I bet you didn't do that again.
Yeah, and I ended up... Well, I went up, and the principal said, "Do you want to lay charges against him?" I said, "Oh, no, I probably asked for it, but..."
Yeah. How would, Darren, how would it be...
Can I just get a baseball bat from the sports department?
How would it be if you're in a school that was quite violent and the principal was Rocky?
You're getting me to do some your problem, you take him, you come in low, your kidney punch, yeah. He's a bum.
He's a bum. Forget about it.
Forget about it. Hey, speaking of Sylvester Stallone,
yeah.
I was at the service station in the supermarket, and I wanted to buy batteries.
Yeah.
AA batteries. And for some reason, a pack of 4 not available. The only thing I could get was like this enormous thing with 24 batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Which is way more batteries than I would ever want. But I thought, what if I bought them and wore them as a sash? Like Rambo.
Right. Like a bandolier.
I take my shirt off, so I go bare top, sash of batteries, and tied up, slightly Asian-influenced headband. And I just walk around maybe near toy shops where someone might need a battery. They drew first blood, And just be like that.
Yeah, great.
That's just sick, isn't it? But that is a look, isn't it?
It is.
Kind of tough military guy.
Yeah.
A sash of batteries.
That's right.
But then it becomes time to dispose of them.
Oh, yeah.
I like it when they say dispose of thoughtfully.
Yeah.
They don't give you any idea of no one knows how to dispose of a battery, not really. Dispose of thoughtfully. That's why I get a bag of them.
Yep.
And I look into the middle distance and scratch my chin. And I go, And then I toss them into an open fire. Usually one near a primary school. And it's thoughtful.
Yeah.
We just love craziness is such a thing. Thoughtfully.
That's right.
Do you know about... I just watched a show where a cop was chasing a guy.
Yeah.
That thing where they always gain on them and then they tackle them and bring them to the ground.
Yeah.
That happens in every movie.
Yeah.
Just once, I'd like the cop to sort of just run and then miss him.
Yeah.
And fall on the ground and the guy just gets away.
Yeah.
I watched a woman do it, a female cop. I think she may have even had high heels, and she caught a guy.
Right.
Who was quite a nuggety sort of a guy.
Yeah.
And he was running, and she caught up to him and tackled him and brought him to the ground and cuffed him.
Sure. Yeah. Happens every day.
Thought, it is stretching the belief system, given the build of these people.
Yep.
I know we live in a modern world, but I thought that was a bit...
Yeah, that's...
woke.
Yeah, that's not likely to happen.
How could she possibly overpower him like that and cuff him? Yeah.
Well...
Anyway, do you know about the Monkey Club?
No, I've never heard of the Monkey Club, and I'm, frankly, quite insulted I haven't been invited.
Well, you'd like to go there, Tony. They're swingers.
Oh, goodness gracious. Go on.
Well, it's a swingers club that copped a backlash about, I think, last year because they had some strict rules.
Oh, yeah.
On how you could look and size and all this sort of stuff, and there was a backlash, so they went offline, and they've come back now. They've reopened. They've slightly relaxed their rules, but you've got to be a certain size. There's a lot of hard rules on hygiene. You've got to be clean.
Yeah.
This is what they say, front and back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, things like that.
All right.
You've got to send a photo of yourself in your underpants.
Okay. Right, okay. Yeah.
Okay. And I just thought that's fantastic. They're back in business because people were saying, why can't we come in? People didn't like that they couldn't just go in and swing.
Right.
But they were trying to say, well, you can't just swing with anybody. We only want to swing. People want to be attractive.
Yeah, front and back.
So there's that rule. But it reminded me of that other swingers, that guy who he ended up chopped up and they burnt him and chopped him up because he turned up without a partner.
Yeah, which is, in that world, it's a bit like turning up to a friend's place, without a bottle of wine or something.
Yeah. They just go, right, I'm not having that. Where's my Zippo? Because I wanted to go to one of these swingers clubs.
Oh, yeah.
And I rocked up and that guy came bursting out the front door in flames. So I just went, I'll head home. Okay. He was sort of walking around in circles and sort of flapping his arms. Like in the movies.
Right.
I said, okay. Guy didn't bring a date.
Right.
None of that.
No.
You're just a bit of a crazy guy. I better go now.
All right, Darren, we shan't detain you any longer. A delight as always. A bit of openly gay chin music, I think, has been the theme of the segment this morning. So Thank you for that, Darren.
Pleasure always.
All right, that is Darren Casey, who we can hear again next week. This is Australia Overnight. Back in a moment.